As I mentioned, this is our annual Earth Day Sunday celebration service. However, it's not like it's just one day a year that we should be focused on God's calling all throughout Scriptures. As we heard from the psalm and as we'll be singing in hymns, God's calling on our lives to partner with him in caring for creation and being stewards of this precious gift that we call planet Earth, our home. Not just Vermont, these green mountains and silver waters, but this shared planet that impacts all of humanity, all creatures, great and small. So I'm deeply grateful for the work of our green team, who week by week, month by month, season by season, keeps this in front of us, our awareness and our hearts. And you'll see in the bulletin a list, and a fuller version has been provided in the Quest, of some of the accomplishments and the updates and some of the things that the Green Team has done. I want to thank Chris Donovan. Thank you, Chris, for compiling that. And I want to thank our Green Team members for their passion and for their involvement. With that, I'd like to welcome one of our Green Team members, one of our key leaders, Lauren Drennan. Laura, if you could come forward and share. And we are grateful for all that you do and for you being here and for providing some refreshments for us as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. I appreciate this opportunity to talk a bit about the Stowe Community Church Green Team as we celebrate Earth Day. I'm grateful to Pastor Dan and Stowe Community Church for the spiritual nourishment and peace that I have found here. My involvement in the Green Team has allowed me to further deepen my connections within the church and the wider community, and has given me an opportunity to become involved in something meaningful and a cause that is close to my heart. Like many of you, I was drawn to the Green Mountains because of my great love of the outdoors. The adventures I enjoy with friends on skis and bikes are just as important to me as the quiet times when seeking solace found when spending time alone amongst the trees. I know that I'm not alone in my fear of the impacts of human-caused climate change on our environment and its devastating implications for all of God's creation. It is easy to feel overwhelmed with a sense of hopelessness or ambivalence, but I have found that making small changes and focusing on my little corner of the earth actually gives me a sense of hope and purpose. The work that I have witnessed as part of the Green Team, as well as changes that I have made in my daily life, give me reasons to feel optimistic. The mission of the Stowe Community Church Green Team is to provide resources to green up our congregation in worship, education, property care, advocacy and action, and to help mobilize the congregation for effectiveness in addressing climate change and environmental degradation, environmental justice, energy efficiency, and eco-sustainability. Since early 2024, our small but mighty team has had several notable accomplishments, of which I will name just a few. After an energy audit had revealed several areas that could be improved, some changes were put into effect, including installation of energy-efficient lighting, and in 2025, modern, efficient, and fossil-free heat pumps were installed in both the church and parsonage, and the parsonage underwent renovations that improved energy efficiency, including installation of insulation and energy-efficient water heater and stove. The Stowe Community Church Green Team has also created new processes to improve our recycling efforts. Food from the kitchen is now being composted, and monthly green tips are included in our Quest newsletter and church bulletins. In addition, a Green Team book club was started, and this year will mark the third annual Green Team volunteer effort on Vermont's Green Up Day. This year, we will be meeting at the church on the morning of Saturday, May 2nd, and we welcome anyone who is interested to join in our efforts as we green up the area around the church and the green spaces along the river and rec path, or with your family and friends in your own neighborhoods. Lastly, the Green Team has reached out to local organizations with shared values, such as Pollinator Pathways of Lamoille County, which you will hear more about shortly. Nearly half a century after Earth Day was founded, the call to action is ever more pressing. I try to reflect on my daily habits and choices and consider the impact it might have on the planet. Can I walk or ride my bike instead of driving? Can I try to reduce plastic waste by bringing my mug to the coffee shop or buying in bulk at the co-op? Can I choose to shop locally and support the businesses of my friends and neighbors? What can I do in my own yard to provide a habitat for birds and bees and other pollinators? I try to challenge myself to do the things that, while not always the easiest or most convenient, do provide me the sense that I'm doing my part to leave as small a trace as possible. May we consider His creation all around us in our daily actions. In this season of spring and in the celebration of Earth Day Sunday, it's the hope of the Stowe Community Church Green Team that others will feel inspired and called to offer their unique vision, inspiration, ideas, or service in our mission to celebrate, nurture, and protect the planet. I would now like to welcome Denise Green of Hyde Park and Melissa Jordan of Morristown, who were kind enough to join us today to discuss the pollinator pathways of Lamoille County. As co-chairs, they share a passion for our native plants and insects and other invertebrates who pollinate them, as well as the mission to preserve their shrinking numbers. In addition to co-chairing the pollinator pathways of Lamoille County, Denise is a UVM Master Gardener and co-chair of the Hyde Park Energy and Conservation Committee. Melissa is a former worm farmer and composting educator who founded PPLC during the winter of 2022. They will share what motivated their formation of the pollinator pathway of Lamoille County and how to join the county-wide effort. I would also like to welcome everyone to join us after the service downstairs for refreshments and an opportunity to ask any questions of myself, Denise, or Melissa. Thank you.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
So we also have a member, can everybody hear me? We also have a member with us. I just forgot your name. I can't believe it. Sorry. Deb Adams came to support us. Sorry. So it's a pleasure to be with you all this Sunday morning to celebrate Earth Day and to share with you the mission of PPLC, or otherwise known as Pollinator Pathway of Lamoille County. We are fortunate in Vermont to be surrounded by natural beauty, wildlife, and farms that provide abundant, healthy food. But below the surface, that beauty and food is in crisis. Populations of creatures that pollinate our food crops, bees, birds, butterflies, moths, bats, and many other insects, are plummeting. Some major causes are pesticide use, fragmentation of pollinator habitats, domination of our nurseries by plant cultivars that are gorgeous to look at but nutritionally inferior to plants native to Vermont. According to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service website, pollination is an essential part of plant reproduction and is responsible for 1 in 3 mouthfuls of food we eat. For example, Vermont's honeybees forage within 4 miles of their hive, with about 75% of trips occurring within a half mile. If it is unable to find a native plant on which its species has depended for billions of years, it can starve to death. And these are, just to quickly say, the information has been around us in so many places for years, and this is what motivated me to do what I could when I heard about Pollinator Pathway, which is an international organization. And now I'd like Denise to add something.
Okay, I just want to speak briefly about habitat because that's what I've been sort of focused on since 2011. I became a beekeeper, keeping non-native honeybees. And through that, I was struggling with that for quite a while because of the weather and climate change, and finally gave it up. But I went to an exhibit and somebody had done some drawings of bumblebees, and bringing attention to the declines. And I immediately gave up my hives and just started on this path to helping save our bees and butterflies and everything else that helps us pollinate it. So habitat's really important, and this has been a really enjoyable journey, finding plants that are native to us, planting them, seeing them blossom, seeing the creatures that come in and make them their home in our yards and all over my town. So I just want to add that.
Thanks, Denise. So I'm just gonna, Okay, so the good news is that this crisis is now on the radar of many Americans and local organizations in our communities. PPLC from Lamoille County is one of 9 chapters in Vermont. So our mission is to establish public and private pesticide-free corridors of native plants that provide nutrition and habitat for pollinating insects and birds. Even the smallest green strip, like flower boxes and curb strips, can be part of a pathway. So, it can be very small scale and it can be large scale. Transforming how we landscape and how we garden gives individuals and towns incredible power for good. And I want to emphasize that because it doesn't have to be all gloom and doom. PPLC provides information and resources to our Lamoille County members. Our chapter hosts informative lectures, workshops, garden tours, and planting projects using native plants. Our members have helped to plant buffers in flood zones at farms and housing developments. On town properties, we have converted lawns to wildflower meadow and created soft landings for butterfly and moth caterpillars with native plantings under trees. And Denise has been actively doing this in Elmore. Hyde Park. The PPLC Steering Committee meets the 3rd Tuesday of each month from 5:30 to 6:30, and we welcome youth and adults alike to share your ideas and start projects of your own. We encourage those interested to attend our upcoming talk, Garden Buddies, an Ecological Landscape, by Emily May of the Xerces Society, on Wednesday, April 22nd, from 6:30 to 7:45 at the Morristown Centennial Library. We will stick around for the rest of the service and afterward if you have any questions. And Laura Drennan said, people are free to reach out to her with questions as well. So thank you so much.